Yeah. Uh, you ready? Be live? My partner, you just put in me live, you don't tell me I'm live. You know I come from under pressure on my live on my page.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bruno.
What happened now?
You're fresh from a fiery live on your program on your platform.
Yeah, man.
I welcome the positive words you said on my behalf. Thank you. I I think I was moved close to tears.
Okay.
I almost couldn't come on this program right away, but nonetheless, thank you. I'll continue doing what I have to do and my work for Dominica. Continue building community. Continue building our unifying message.
Yeah, man.
That said, good afternoon to persons who will be tuning in and those who will look at this live. Uh, not this program, not live, but the replay, because of course this program is being recorded and it's here for history to see that the work that we have been doing. Alex, I yield and let you take over your now that you have composed yourself.
You make it sound like I wasn't composed, my partner. Let me tell you something, Carlos. There was a time, well, first of all, you're welcome about the thanks that you've given. And I just decided to feature you today because sometimes, people who you're close to fall through the cracks. And I do not want anything happening to me or you, and I had not said some of the things I said. I could have said so much more when it comes to your work acumen, but I left it at that. As a means of boosting you on the loss of your family member, and again, my deepest condolences. But just also because you epitomize genuine life. And as I said, you have been my friend for a long time, but I never allowed you so close to my circles the way we are today. Like you are almost the first person I speak up to in the morning, almost every morning, and the last person at night. That is significant. And we speak several times a day. That is significant. I have dined at your house, and my house is your house as well. So it doesn't get better than that. But I just wanted to let the public know that you are more than just the Carlos that they think they know. Your the way in which you analyze politics, the way in which you see things. Sometimes you don't always speak quickly and you stutter at times. But beneath this stutter is a very strong analysis. You follow politics religiously. You're a student of politics. Yes, you attend my class sometimes when you have time. Maybe you can share that experience one day, publicly if you don't have to, but it's nice to have you in class once in a while. So I just find you to be a real fascinating guy, and also the plans that you have for your further studies and stuff. Don't tell everybody your business as yet. Just do whatever you have to do and surprise a lot of people, man, my friend. That's what you need to do.
I see Alex talking about myself. I've done studies, maybe not as much as you, but in certain aspects of my career, I've done studies on for very high level.
Mhm.
And in transitioning to this new career, I have to educate myself more. And you mentioned like my stutter is I'm not the only one. The eloquent Lambi does as well. It comes out at certain times.
Well,
Likewise, my bro. Oh, and Alex, do you know somebody famous in politics who stutters?
President Biden, but he's
And
been
he's
working on it.
yes, and he's a very bad stutter. But he means well. He does his work.
Yeah. And
He
he's
does his
been
work.
criticized now for his age, and which is a mistake because that speaks to ageism, and probably he's aged a bit, maybe age a bit different from other people. But I'm never going to call attention to his age. I would prefer if he was maybe. a bit more agile, but some of us can be so cold when it comes to people and their disposition in politics. And your stutter is a plus. Use it. The Prime Minister of Dominica stutters too.
Have you heard one of our? Do you know Nai?
Of course, I know Nai.
Have you ever spoken to Nai?
Nai does not say a word without a stutter. His
Okay.
father too used to be a big
Have
stutterer.
you listened to Nai sing?
And no stutter, no?
Okay. That's my brother. That's my boy.
No stutter can be a plus. And yours, I think you use well. So just continue working, my brother. Listen to me, and another thing that happened to me, right? You remember when Kubuli Bear was out and there was some problem? They were saying the bear hit in your stomach, all kind of a problem with the bear. A man called Jerry Brisbane, a genius from UDL, United Distributors Limited, took on the distributorship of Kubuli.
I remember that. I was going to Dominica Grammar School.
Okay, I was already out of school, man. You're a baby. I have just won the Road Match Monarch title 2020, 2002.
Oh, well, I just left
2001.
grammar school. Yeah, I just left grammar school. Osama says.
Osama say bend down low.
I remember that.
And because of the fame that I had, fellas like Asa and them man doing their thing now. But when I was me, in terms of my age, and I was younger than them and I was making trouble. I mean, talking about record deals and all kind of things I got, traveling the world, same way, I used to be out all the time, but time bring time. So Jerry selected me and a fella called Elvis, but I was the lead brand officer.
Elvis Clifton.
Yeah, man.
Great Elvis Clifton.
And he gave us 2 brand new minibuses, cooler, and all the things, implements needed to sell. And we came up with a plan to make Kubuli the #1 beer in Dominica. And who would have thought Kubuli would have passed Heineken and Carib? But Jerry had a plan with Suzanne Watty and the others in the team every day what we're going to do. And we decided to change the budget, the beer from the big 275 LM to the budget size.
I remember the 250 budget beer.
Boy, listen to me. Package the beer smaller, make it a 245.
Was it a breakable bottle or was it metal?
A breakable bottle.
I remember it being smaller, yes.
Yes,
so
fully from the
fully branded.
Right. We branded it down, give more beer, give less beer for almost the same amount of money, It goes from 275 to 250 ml. It's not a big jump. And we decided to cushion the impact. Let us do 2 beers for $5. We didn't sell a beer for one. We didn't sell 1 beer at all. It was 2 beer, 2 for $5 or $3.50 for 1 or whatever it is. So people just was buying budget beer. And our idea was to do a taste test, go around the entire Dominica. Jerry would just give us gas. Just take gas, anything you want, and then keep the vehicle at your home. So you're not to return the vehicle at night. That is your vehicle.
That's those Suzuki APVs.
Yeah. Brand new, Jerry Brisbane, that man is a genius. And the man was tough, but he was fair. And when we were done with our campaign, we did a blind test of the beer, and fellas said, that is the Heineken there. We said, no, you got it wrong. That is the Kubuli. And when fellas start losing the test, and we start doing our little sampling on the blocks and places, we were selling 4,000 cartons of beer when I started the job, a week. When I left, we were selling 40,000 cartons of beer. You see what I'm saying, my partner? I was given a contract as an employee, and my commission on sales was 0.00025% on total commissions of sales.
So the Prime Minister gave you a better increase than your commission.
That's what my partner, Mr. Brisbane, gave me, because he knew that when the beer catch, it will be selling. And Carlos, if you add up 0.00025% times the value of beers that we sold, I was making $400 and $500 commission on top of my money I was getting, because I was getting commission on total sales. So I may be saying a lot, and it doesn't matter now because Jerry is a successful man. But I'm telling you, that is the kind of man that I work with. And I'm telling you that because no one gave Kubuli a chance. But there was an architect called Jerry Brisbane, ably assisted by Susan Watty. And we, with Clifton, myself, our push girls we used to have to go out for sometimes, plan events, we work hard for about a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe less. And before you knew it, Kubuli was the number one. I still feel right now Kubuli still has the respect on the market, although the beer is not being done in Dominica and everything else have changed. But we became the beer. That is TUD. When people might want to discard you, do your work, trust your strategies, trust your message, go in the nook and cranny, let the people hear. Do younger to put nothing on media. And that is what TUD has been doing, my brother. That's why I am so adamant. That's why I believe you are worth it. Because I was a nobody when Jerry picked me up. And look at what I am today. Elvis, who was Elvis? So, my
Right,
brother,
right now, when Elvis comes on the radio, and Elvis is talking about a fish somewhere, it's something serious here.
how you mean, no boy? Elvis Clifton was an ordinary partner, me too. But Jerry is an architect. I have to give respect to Jerry. He was tough like nail, but that man was fair. Well, it was because when I was working with him, he still is that kind of a person.
I,
And
I must give him some credit. He's a man that, how would I put it? He may be unassuming, he's tough, but he still thinks of the people. Can you imagine a young man in third form comes to Jerry, Mr. Brisbane, are looking for a summer job. His first working foray, Jerry gave him a stack of papers. A stack, those regular A4 papers,
mhm.
printed already with Oli Brisbane paraphernalia. He had the cutouts, the little cutout size, and he had the full size. And he said, "Young man, this is your job. You're going to go to Roseau, and you're going to put this under the wipers of every vehicle you see in Roseau."
Yeah.
That was my first job, Alex. My
I'm telling
first
you,
job ever.
I'm telling you, Jerry promoted me and gave me special recognition once and only once. And we met in the gathering in the supermarket, I think once a week. And he would highlight outstanding workers. And Carlos, your boy was pushing with my calypso, with my charisma, my enthusiasm. I was pushing. And I was checking, but Jerry not bigging me up. He mentioned me once. Every time he pick up somebody, Cuthbert, whoever. And when he mentioned me, he said, Alex deserves the mention today. I know he maybe think I should mention him more often, but today he deserves it. And that one mention was enough for me for all my career at Brisbane. And only once I got the special mention, because I had done something so exceptional, and Jerry was not giving credit if credit was not due. And he gave that to me. I say, Amen. I make Jerry's Elise. And I can talk about that girl, that lady, I call her girl Nafu at Springfield Trading as well. That's another subject. These people are special people. They were born in flowers. These are the people I can bow to and say, look, here goes a great person. Not some of the people are doubting you, Carlos, and doubting me. Even Asif too, he knows about my work as well. He too is a damn good man. People may say, oh, he's not because of the politics. It doesn't matter what his politics is to me. Ivo is a man who understands. Because I work with these people. So, my brother, what you're doing is fascinating, is fantastic. Keep it up, keep it up. As I said, I'm not into what you want to do. You want to be prime minister, I don't want to be prime minister. But go for it, my brother. Why not you?
Yep. Alex, I forgot to tell you, thanks for the best wishes for our family. You have been keeping, I noticed you also keeping up with my aunt in the social media space.
Mhm.
I can tell you we are grateful for the outpouring of support that we're receiving from the persons who have been reaching out last night, last evening, at the Parrot Pass and check us out at home.
That's good. When you see the pirate again, I know you saw him and you had a little conversation with him about the road. When you see him again, take a picture with him, shaking his hand or hugging him, and put that on your post on your Facebook page.
But you see, persons may not be seeing me doing things, but it doesn't
I know
it
you do it.
doesn't but it doesn't mean that Carlos is not working.
I know you.
I'm always in the trenches. You have to remember the background I've come from. I come from a background where I have been. You know. Not sure if I told you that there was a time before I decided to run for the urban council election. That
Yeah,
was the first time. That was the first time that the entire machinery of the government was put to run a council election.
but you want to go and run against Simeon, them and them people partner.
The prime minister was walking in the in the in the Benawa Avenue,
Yeah,
when Simeon was running again.
yeah, they protected that boy. That's why Simeon doing what he's doing today in the radio. For them, Simeon has a lot to lose or to gain. So he's
Or to
working.
be
I mean,
thankful for.
I'm not grudging Simeon. Simeon is doing what Simeon has to do. Ghost,
Yeah,
my
Simeon is
my
my boy, man, and my partner.
nothing wrong with them people, man. They're doing their
Our
business.
politics different, our views are different, but we can have a conversation, and that is how, in line of our topic, that is how it should be. We should be able to sit and have a conversation. Let us talk. Let
Yeah,
We have different views on how or which road we should pass to get to the end of where we want to reach. But at the end of the day, we should all be able to sit and have a common consensus, a common understanding. Let's just
right.
okay, okay. I don't want to use a bus. I can use a jeep. The jeep can hold six people. You don't have to take a 16 seater. But at the end of the day, we want to get to Capuchin. And with Capuchin in mind, I will just say good afternoon to Sister Petra Carbon George. And yes, I see Viva Mamo is there with us again. Welcome, Viva.
All right. So make sure remind people that he should share he or she because I keep on getting different genders alluded to the name. Again, as I said, it doesn't matter. We had a little banter on my page, and I expect nothing to be different here. So Viva, bring it on. And share, please, Viva. Share on your platform.
Oh, Viva shared the thing.
All right.
Viva
So
shares all of it.
So, what is the topic for discussion today? Can you just read it? Because I want to introduce it in a way, but I would like you to read it first, and then we will
The,
discuss it.
the topic for our discussion today is the, the case of the two Kalinago nominees for president.
Wonderful. That's it.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
there's there's more. There's more. A second. Let me read it in totality. And what the topic of the case of two Kalinago nominees for the president of Dominica and what this means for the Kalinago territory and Dominica. Of course, we're here. Join us until this roundtable. Thank you for joining us.
Good. So, yeah, welcome to the round table. Let's talk. We hope people can add comments as well. Okay, by way of introducing this topic, I am quite familiar with what has gone on. I was part of a statement that you made, Carlos. You shared it with me, and I had some comments about it. And your statement went out as leader, which was a good statement. You talk about you congratulated the nominee that the prime minister did nominate, and later there was a press release that supported the nomination. And later you also presented why the support was. And that I hope you can present today and we can go over it in bullet points. And I would like to say again that all of that was done before any word of the other nominee was out, before it was known. All those statements had been out before. But what I've observed with us is that the traditional media, which has its own interests, do not readily post and publish our work. But in the case like that, they did publish and they publish it retroactive. They publish it after the fact. So one of the statements that was made about our post was done on a newspaper or whatever article place, and it read as if we were going against the nomination of the other person by the leader of the opposition, and that was wrong because all our statements went out before it was ever known that there was going to be another nominee. In fact, we said it would have been wrong if you kind of tried to present a case, partisan case that would divide the people and the country. So we warned about that prior, and that was used as an after the fact thing. And I got some fire. I know you got some, but again, that is the nature of the politics and the media and their biases, which is part of it. All right.
But you have to have thick skin to in be in that
Oh, yeah, man.
political space.
You have to. So, with that said, let me just introduce the topic to see again that our team took the decision to endorse Mrs. Burton, and you will give the reasons in a while. And we also, in after the fact, now that the dust have been settled and that the leader of the opposition has nominated someone else, incidentally someone from the Kalinago territory, and a lady, we would like to recognize this as a very interesting development and congratulate the nominee for president presented by the leader of the opposition. And that person is Mrs. Sanford, Annette Sanford, a dear friend. I have consequently had conversations with Annette because, as I said, Annette is a dear friend. And I found her reasoning for accepting the nomination to be in keeping with the person that I know she was, especially since it was announced on a program that I saw she did with Maureen that she will not be vying for national political office. And as such, will be focusing on Kalinago matters. So I think there is some authenticity to what she intends to do moving forward based on her own declaration. And she was nice enough to take my call and to return my call and have a wonderful conversation with no vexing matter about it, which is something that I cannot say about anybody else in her party. Well, in her former party, based on how things have unfolded, because she's no longer part of the national politics. She distinguishes herself as someone who is quite cordial. And we spoke a couple of days ago. And Carlos, I am pleased to say that I think she's a good nominee as well. It's just that because of how things work, she's not going to win. But the reasons that she cited, and if she can articulate those, I think this would minimize the divide that could happen if it is not handled well. And I expect Annette to handle it well. I hope the division among the people is minimal. And at the end of the day, the Kalinago people will rally around Mrs. Burton, who's going to become the president, barring the unforeseen, because of how the presidents are elected. So I just wanted to put that out there on my own behalf and on behalf as the team of the team that we didn't know about Annette's nomination, but now that we know, we recognize it, and we give all respects to the leader of the opposition for nominating somebody else. And I think that she made a good choice to nominate Annette, and Annette accepted, and the rest is history. So, with that said, Carlos, you can now present the reasons why we endorse and still do endorse Ms. Burton as the candidate for president. And
Before I even
again,
do so, let me just congratulate Mrs. Sanford, who is a good friend. Uh, Congratulate her on her nomination.
mhm,
Uh, I wish he wins.
Would be
However,
nice.
the way our politics works, we already know that Mrs. Burton will be the president. And with that said, allow me to read our first statement.
You're going to read it again. Okay,
You
Mr. Reader. No, you can go
you
ahead,
don't
read it. Read
you
it.
don't want me to read it?
No, man, I just teasing you, boy. You
You
can
don't
take
want
a
me to
good
read?
look.
I have to put my message out there, my brother.
Okay, Papa. Okay, okay, okay.
The message has to be out there. People
Well,
have to know this.
let me put you on full screen and I not in your shot. Papa, read your message. When you finish reading, I'll join you back. So go ahead and present your message. And let
Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Yes, folks. This was presented on September 20th, so Wednesday past. And Team Unity is pleased to endorse Sylvanie Burton on her nomination for the office of President of the Commonwealth of Dominica. In our September 18th presentation, which followed on from our previous statement, we signal our intention to stand with the nominee presented by the Honorable Prime Minister of Dominica for several reasons. Mrs. Burton is eminently qualified for the position. She has served the Kalinago people and Dominica with appreciable acclaim. She would be our nation's first woman's president. This alone is worthy of an endorsement. The majority of young people, young Dominicans, hold a positive view of the nomination. The rank and file of Dominica seem comfortable with the Prime Minister's choice for president. The nominee presents a new twist in the era of the presidency. Her indigenous Kalinago heritage, the entire Kalinago community and the country by extension gets to celebrate an achievement which rarely comes around. The office of president is beyond what is normally debated about, and we believe that Mrs. Burton can distinguish herself in the office of the president. The function of head of state is a matter for all the people and not the majority of party, as some may argue. We also believe that there is a silver lining feeling about the prospects and unfolding of the presidency, which could be headed by Mrs. Burton if she indeed becomes president. It makes good political sense to stand united behind this nominee, and the magnanimity which this endorsement carries is worth more than a failed bid to seek a political upstage or to slow down the process. Her ascendancy to the Dominican presidency will serve as a boost to the original people, the Kalinago. The people of Dominica want to see some sense of togetherness on issues, and this is an issue that we can agree to join the opponents on. Our endorsement is not a compromise in any way, shape, or form. Instead, it is a strategic, thoughtful, genuine, and deliberate gesture to show support for the Kalinago people, to celebrate women's achievements, and to reach out and commend the Honorable Prime Minister for his decision to be bold and different with his idea about the presidency. The endorsement also serves as a commencement, a new start, a new era, a different journey, a twist in Dominica's administrative favor. Our endorsement also opens up an avenue for conversation and collaboration, which has not been part of the Dominican political climate in recent decades. Ours is a mature stance of brave defiance and solid support for what's good about being Dominican. We call it as we see it, and TUD will forever adopt a progressive approach to politics both in and out of office. We do not believe in opposing for opposing's sake. There must be something political opponents should and can agree on, and this is one of those. We believe that our endorsement is ordained by the good books, the Holy Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, 19, 12. Two are better than one because they have good return for their labor. This endorsement is further informed in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 24, which tells us that we should not associate with a man given to anger. We are also of the firm conviction that love, and compassion are real, and these help to ground our endorsement. We endorse Mrs. Burton because her nomination was made in keeping with the constitutional protocols and based on the power of the majority will most likely become Dominica's president. And it will be of great fault to stand in opposition to a good candidate. And we also reiterate that our team stand ready to work with the presidential nominee in the capacity of president. And as we earlier stated, our pledge is to build bonds of unity for meaningful progress. And this recommendation of Mrs. Burton serves as a testimony to that pledge. And we advised against any activity which would widen the fracture in the Kalinago community and Dominica by extension. Having a Kalinago woman or man to run against Mrs. Burton would be a gross partisan political mistake. But TUD, however, understands and respects the opposition leader's decision to follow the constitutional progress by nominating an alternative candidate. And it is our hope that this endorsement signals to the youth of our nation that we are willing to engage and that the wheels of unity turns with TUD, your unity platform for Dominica's progressive politics. And we hope that the election process goes smoothly for the next Dominica president. Alex, that's the genesis of my presentation. Are you muted?
Yeah, so that is pretty much what was presented.
Yes.
And again, I listened to this and I have no issues with it. Everything was touched on. There is no ambiguities. These are some genuine, clear-cut reasons why the endorsement was supported. And I guess, people omit and add, but everything is there. And I do not see, well, there's no controversy in that. But again, there is a couple of media statements. There are a couple of media statements that I saw that liken you to a lapdog and other things like that, that I don't want you to worry about, but that's all part of the game. Outside of that, too, I think it was a very well received endorsement. And even in my conversation with Annette, who again, as I say, is one of the most gracious person that I know, it felt as if she understood. She didn't understand the then that we spoke before, because, as I said, the media don't publish our stuff. The
It's very malicious of certain media houses who choose to be absent when we invite them to
yeah,
our event
and do not publish our press releases, do not take our stories, and we see people with stories coming on and on and on. But this one, they actually went with it and took parts of it. Um, and I guess we thank them for doing that anyway. At least they did it. And then some people misread it, and I got a very important message from the Kalinago Territory. And I said, I was like confused. I'm like, what? Until I realized what had happened in the media. And that was cleared up. And Annette too understood that we are on the same boat with her in terms of the understanding of the division, how we're going to work the people. And the fact that she retired very quietly from seeking public office for now. I hope for now, and maybe later on she can rethink her decision. But she said she's not going to do it for now. So that tells me that her mind is in a good place, and we hope and wish her well. We think it's going to be in a lost cause, but she understands that, and let us enjoy our Kalinago president, man, and give more powers to the president. And we hope development comes to the territory, and it's not just going to be just another beat, just another case, just another trick from the heart, which is potentially what this is. But even if that's the case, sometimes you have to be magnanimous and call it as it is, and we call it as it is.
I see, Alex, it also shines a light on our Kalinago people. Uh, a lot of the times they have been ignored by persons in authority. And the fact that the system, both left and right, have decided to shine a light on them, I would like to compliment them for that. That is a good thing.
Yeah, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Now, from my end, I am okay with the remarks and the feedback. There, of course, there are going to be some people who will just be so blinded, partisan wise, that they will not even read. They will just say what they hear and put comments. But anyone who genuinely reads the article that is read about, and even the write up too, there is nothing major ambiguous about the write up. It is just that the sequence of things appear to be after. Although they wrote it as being before, but when you read it, you don't see that. That's a little trick that journalists can do to sensationalize their little story. It's part of telling a story. And
Boy,
we,
boy, let me tell you, and they make some of my supporters mash me up there.
yeah, but don't worry that, man. Let's explain
No,
things
boy,
properly.
but by the time people, anybody with reason will see the sense in supporting the nominee.
But you read it there. There's no thing. No, there's some. So based on the comments, I have not heard anything that legitimately disqualifies the nominee. Some people say she's not qualified, the one on the prime minister's behalf, because she's involved in the politics and she was chairing groups during the election, all of that. So what? Most of them do that. Maybe Sir Clarence wasn't one of those, but you don't have them like this anymore. Um, so what? The office, the qualification does not say that if you were involved, you can't. It says when you are, you can't.
Alex, let me tell you that they know better. The persons who were saying that before know better because when she was nominated, that was the excuse that they gave. When her name was floated out as being the nominee, that was the excuse. But I listened to a politician on a radio station this week, and that was never said.
So they had another reason again.
They had another reason again.
Well, what is it? Did you hear it?
Yes, I
What was
listened
the
to
reason that was
it.
floated why she is
They,
not qualified?
they were saying they were given the excuse that her involvement as a PS and she may have been involved in some partisan activities.
So, but that doesn't disqualify her. It helps her as a PS because she has administrative skills. The last I checked, our outgoing president was never a PS. He was a politician. At least
And
she's
and
committing
the,
administrative skills.
and the other nominee is a politician.
Yes, active politician too.
Well, retired now.
Well, retired for the past few days. So in any case, politics for politics, this one must be have been chairing meetings. She's less profiled publicly than, although we knew she was doing it, but that does not disqualify her, does not preclude her from doing the job. Now, when she gets the office, if she
If
continues,
she does that when she's in the office, that's a different conversation.
yeah, and we will have something to say about that as well. But no, that is not a thing. In fact, being PS helps her. I guarantee you, because it helped Mr. Shaw as well when he was. It helped Sir Clarence as well, and the other really great presidents. We haven't had many. I think Sir Clarence is head and shoulders above them all. And then we had Mr. Surrender for some time, and we had Mr. Shaw, who was a stickler for excellence, and of course, um, Mr. Liverpool, Dr. Liverpool, my dear friend of blessed memory. He too was a wonderful
But
president. So we had some good
Sir
ones.
Liverpool is a good man. He used to call me back in the day when I was at mapping and when he had issues with his internet.
No, we had some good. I was his friend. I used to go to his house, sit with his wife, eat a drink.
I remember that Toyota single cab pickup.
Yeah. And how I got to know him and befriend him is Brohim, the sign man, through the Dwifire. No, it was through Edgar. No, it was through, I'm not, but through Jerry Dwifire's working group. I think, Brohim, one of them. We took him to a hike and he was there and we kind of, walked along and talked. And that's when I really got to know the man as a real, like a trickster. He was so amicable, funny, deep with thought and education, man. And we spent a few hours then, and boy, that was it, man. There was no going back. And then I interviewed him. We spoke about his life, and he liked that. He wanted it to have been recorded. I met his daughter, his gorgeous daughter. I remember he telling me his daughter is single, and he smiled. Yeah,
it, it know
uh,
about you then, man.
I don't know why. Yeah, she's listening now. I know she's married or whatever. She should smile as well. So we did a couple of things, man, and I was invited to his inauguration as president, and to his burial as well. He came to my place as well, So he was a good man, very very good man. And of course, he had his partisan interests. He probably liked the prime minister because you do not get to be nominated by the prime minister if you don't have like a political something, as they all would. Because Mamo liked Signoret because Signoret was a man who was maybe an old Freedomite. He was just a man who distinguished himself, and he would tell Mamo, that's not how it's going to be done. Those no would not tell this guy no because they think they cannot. Yeah, but the point is we're making is that the ability to be gracious to people when they oppose you is an art that not many of us have. I know Annette has it, although Annette can be like a red ant sometimes when she's ready. Annette not easy, and sometimes she can be a little stubborn. But come on, man, who isn't stubborn sometimes? Our job in TUD is to engender unity and to help to change the conversation. And the people who do not want to change, who see bloodshed and protests and whatever as the answer, will not like us. But I think the majority of Dominicans will eventually warm up to our message and have been warming up to our message. And we are here to play a role. So that is our involvement in terms of our endorsement. I hope that is an explanation for all. And if there's any question, people can always ask. We'll be more than happy to answer this question, Carlos. But I think we are clear with our message of the endorsement.
Yeah, but it's not confusing.
Yeah,
It's not confusing. It's you see, when I brought this idea to you of endorsing the presidential nominee, I was thinking that that is something that we should stand behind and show that not everything we can differ with an opposing party about. Of course, our politics is different from them. We have different views, opposing views on other issues, but this is something that we can or should stand behind. The president should be seen as a unifying force in the country.
which is what the president is. The president represents the spirit of our people. But of late day, it hasn't been that. No, boy, Carlos, boy, the outgoing president was very partisan, my boy. And he got into the office very, very partisan in a divisive way, but you still had to embrace him. And every time I invited him to a function or Kaiso Hall of Fame, he came. And he would come and say, Gua Powell, what's going on? I would say, okay, Gua Powell. We would laugh. And then he would say, I heard you on the radio, I'm not too sure that you're right, but, that is politics. So let's leave that out. That's the conversation I had with him. And I mean, that is it. And unless you can be mature enough to have those conversations, I think politics is not for you. I don't think you belong to the political arena if you cannot crack a joke and have a drink with someone after you criticize them. And your criticism to someone should not be meant to destroy them, their career, or to put them in disrepute. Even if you do not like what your opponent is saying, say it in a way that you can shake hands and break bread with them tomorrow.
Mhm.
And that is the politics we play. I mean, sorry. If you change tomorrow, Carlos, I will not be part of this with you. That is how, I mean, you have to be firm sometimes and give blows. But there are times when you have to work and you have to pick your battles, man. Not every
No,
battle is
but not every time you have to go out and give up and blast you.
man, no, you don't.
No, that's not how you're going to win people like that.
You pick your battles, man. And which is what we have been doing. And I must say that I'm pleased with your work and a lot of the suggestions that you've made, I have supported you with them. and you have been right. So you such as suggested the endorsement, and I thought it was a good thing. I said draft something. We looked at it together and we put it out. That is what people do when you work with people who can guide you. So again, that is how TUD does it. I do not know how other party do it, but that is how it is done here.
But
Right.
other parties, worry if other parties, but
Yeah, but
this
sometimes you
thing,
have to worry about them because they can seem to frame you and seem to put you in their light. They put you in their light, You're not in their. They put you in their light. And in politics, sometimes you have to shed the frame before it even get too comfortable. Hey, that's not me. Hey, yeah, that's not my clothes. You don't wait for people to and let things build and build. Next thing they're gonna say, oh, Alex not answering because Carlos not answering because sometimes you have to just throw it down right away. It's like a laugh they put on you, drop it, and you move on again. But sometimes you have to leave it alone, dodge it, like my partner told me, move, Paul. Sometimes leave that. But
Mervyn Paul, my brethren.
why you saying moving? Moving Paul that there for real.
Yes, that's Mervyn Paul.
Okay, Papa,
Mervyn Paul.
my
My
boy.
brethren is a good guy. He's a good
Whenever I
guy.
speak about moving, I must smile.
Yeah.
Slippery. Do you know why they call
Yeah.
it slippery?
I know he like that slippery name, but I never got this story.
Do you want me to tell you publicly?
No, Mervyn may not like that. Mervyn may not like that. Don't do my partner that. Don't
Ooh,
do my partner
slippery.
that. He did a fine job in GIS during his time there, I must
Yeah,
say.
he did well. He did well. He maintained the integrity of the office. A bit partisan, as is expected, but
Yes,
you
but
know,
the his job during his time that he spent there
yeah.
what was and I'm going to say something very controversial too.
Mm.
The current holder of the office that he used to hold is doing an equally good job too. He is very partisan,
Yeah, maybe too partisan, but yeah,
but in the execution of his duties at GIS, he does a very good job.
he
I've known of situations where he has reached across the aisle, and in facilitating certain speeches and so on. But let's not go into that.
I would like to send him to Jamaica. If I had money, I'd pay for him to go to Jamaica.
But they don't say you get plenty money now, Alex, so you don't have money
Yeah,
now.
they second money, me boy. That man not easy, boy. Why you scary to have a money to give his me scared to give his body. That's a moon sorte sometimes. And I would take money from the Honorable Prime Minister. Me, why? I mean, if he give me a money to do a pool or something, I would take it. No, man, them fellas.
But it's your job.
Yeah,
You,
of course, it's
you,
my job. Some
you
people,
get a hire. You're hired to do that.
and I lobbying for it too, because I know he pulls and he tests, and I have not pulled for him as yet. I have pulled for all parties except his. So I'm looking for a job. Why not? I'm in the business of polling. But no, man, there's no way I'm going to accept money that I do not deserve from anybody, man. Why no? Why you give me money? I don't want it. Why? It's not my money. Buy me a drink, I'll drink the drink. Or give me the money, I'll share it in the ghetto. But I don't want your money, man. I'm not viable.
So what I wanted to know if we support Annette in her bid to be the president. Well, we have Alex has spoken on that.
Yeah, we spoke on
I
everything.
just wanted to make sure that it was clear.
We were
That
very clear on that. And I don't have to repeat anything. Everything I said is on the record already, and that's that. Our endorsement for Mrs. Burton stands. But after the fact, we understand Annette came into the picture, and we said what we had to say about Annette already. So that is that. I
and
see. Well,
go ahead.
is there any pressing message? Because we're almost at the end of our time, and there's an appointment that we have at 4. So,
No, it's just Viva and Sister George, who reached out to us via messaging.
Okay, so what Viva was saying, did you answer his message or her message?
Viva just said that they are there with us.
Oh, thank you. Good company. Thank you so much, guys. The Bible says, "So the ones and twos are gathered. There am I also." Thank you. It really means a lot, Viva. I saw Emo News published a flyer. Did you see that, Carlos?
Say again?
I saw Emo News publish this.
Yes, the National Day of Prayer. I got it from Emo as
Which,
well.
so that's authentic. That's authentic, right?
Yes, I also got it from government sources.
So why does the government want us to pray again? What is the main reason why?
There's a National Day of Prayer which takes place during every independence.
Oh, that. Okay, okay. I thought something particularly. Okay, why not? Good.
Yes.
People who pray stay together, and I think we should pray. And when there's a National Day, Flag Day, we should do the same as well.
Yes.
Although I saw some people putting up their party flags on Flag Day, and I'm hoping Viva is not going to say I'm calling his party out. But
Oh, so, Ron Joseph just tuned in and he wants to know what you said about Alex.
oh, it's there on the
About
record.
Annette.
It's on the record.
It's
I'm not
there.
going to. No, it's too long to go over it again. We just have 2 minutes, so it's on the
Yeah.
record. Just look back at the recording, and you will see what we said about Annette.
But Ron, Annette is a dear friend. So be minded of that. All right, folks, we need to wrap up. We have another engagement at 4 p.m. It was nice doing it for you. We're here once a week, doing what we have to do for the people, making our presentation, articulating our party's vision and our plans for the future of Dominica. Today we decided to spend a little more time on the presidency on the heels of our endorsement from this Wednesday past. Just to clarify everything, a few housekeeping matters, put things in perspective, correct perspective. Okay, so with that said, Alex, you have anything to say before
No,
we
man,
wrap up?
I'm done. It's good, man. Thanks for the opportunity for the casual, lovely conversation. And we invite people who wants to join the conversation to join whenever you wish, live or via text, anytime. Let's just speak. And there'll be time when things will unfold, and you will see more things unfolding. You will see more people being introduced in time. But for now, enjoy Carlos and I. I think we have a wonderful rapport, and when we come here, we represent the entire movement. That's my last words until next week Sunday. If I am on with you, Carlos, I'm not sure what the plan is yet, but we'll see.
Thank you.
Cheers.